Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Let's do it.
Awesome. So today we're tackling a question that's been buzzing around. Can small electric SUVs really make a difference in cleaning up our roads? We got a ton of research and articles, and honestly, it's a bit more complicated than I thought at first.
Yeah, there's a lot to consider.
Right, like at first glance, you think smaller car, electric engine, that's got to be good for the planet, right?
Well, the zero tailpipe emissions thing is huge. I mean, think about it. Every time a gas-powered car drives by, it's literally pumping out all these pollutants. Nitrogen oxides, particulate matter, you name it. All that stuff's awful for us and the environment.
Yeah, and one article even mentioned how, like NOx and emissions specifically, they're linked to breathing problems, especially in cities, right?
Exactly. And it's not just one car, right? We're talking millions of vehicles.
Yeah.
So yeah, switching to electric, whatever the size, helps a lot.
Okay, that makes sense. But then there's this whole energy efficiency thing, and that's where I start to get a little confused. So how do electric SUVs compare to gas cars and even electric sedans?
All right, so all electric vehicles are definitely way more energy efficient than gas guzzlers, right? But within the electric world, yeah, there are differences. Generally, sedans are more efficient, mostly because they're lighter and more aerodynamic.
Hmm. So it takes less energy to move them, kind of like, I don't know, a bullet train versus a giant freight train.
Exactly, you got it.
Okay, so then I'm thinking, why are we even talking about SUVs? If sedans are better, shouldn't we all be driving those?
Well, that's where things get interesting. Sedans might win on efficiency, but SUVs are like winning the popularity contest.
Yeah, that's true. Everyone wants an SUV.
Right. People love the extra space, that higher view, and they feel safer. And that's happening with electric cars, too. More people are buying electric SUVs, which means we're getting more of them off gas, even if each one isn't as efficient as a sedan by itself.
So it's kind of like a team effort. Even if one player scores a bit higher, having more players on the field can win the game.
Exactly. And one of the research papers really emphasized this idea of consumer preference. If people are excited about a certain type of car, they'll buy it, right? So meeting that demand while pushing for electric is key.
Makes total sense. But then one article argued that like focusing on electrifying SUVs could slow us down because it keeps us hooked on big, heavy cars. What do you think about that?
That's a good point. Ideally, yeah, we'd all be in smaller, more sustainable rides, but that's a long way off, right? Right now, we've got to switch to electric fast, and SUVs are part of that.
Yeah, and technology keeps getting better too, right? Batteries, charging stations, they're all improving.
Exactly. Battery density, charging speeds are getting better all the time.
And this is where governments can really make a difference, right? Like with those tax breaks and subsidies for electric cars that one source was talking about.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Government support is huge. Those incentives help people actually afford electric cars, and investing in charging stations calms those range anxieties. Makes electric cars practical for everyday use.
So we're talking about making electric cars cool, affordable, and easy to use, basically.
Yes, we need a system where choosing a clean car is a no-brainer.
All right, so to sum up our deep dive, small electric SUVs, they're not perfect, but they're a big step in the right direction. Zero emissions, people like them, and we're getting better at making and using them.
Totally. And yeah, we should keep aiming for even better, more sustainable ways to get around in the future. But for now, focusing on electrifying those SUVs is a smart move.
Awesome. Lots to consider here. What do you think is the most important thing for the future of electric cars, having read all this research?
For me, it's all about batteries. If we can get those batteries even better, longer lasting, faster charging, cheaper, it'll change everything.
That's a fantastic point. Leaves us with a lot to think about. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.